So Death Battle announced another one, and it's been a while since I've talked about these because there hasn't been anything that's really extremely piqued my interest. There's been little melees and stuff like that. The 1 minute melees are cool, but I haven't seen a Death Battle in a while that got me as excited as this one. And I'm talking about the one that was recently announced for Erza Scarlet from Fairy Tail versus Roronoa Zoro from One Piece. And I know immediately, first of all, the two fandoms for the most part, if you're a hardcore One Piece fan or you're a hardcore Fairy Tail fan, more than likely you don't like the other one. Like, especially if you're like a hardcore, you're looking at it like from a One Piece perspective, fuck Fairy Tail, it's shit, blah, 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 blah. From a Fairy Tail perspective, fuck One Piece, they think they're the shit, fuck them all, blah, 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 blah. So already you got the fandoms that are going wild over this. I mean, I've seen it on Twitter and everything. There's gonna be blood from this one, alright? There's gonna be blood. Erza versus fucking Zoro. Had it been prior to the extreme amounts of hate and the extreme amounts of what, you know, we feel is BS with Erza's character, with the constant wins by friendship and shit like that, I think this would have been a bomb-ass fight. Like, prior to maybe Tenro, or just about right at the Tenro arc in Fairy Tail, I think this would have been an amazing fight. Like, no bullshit, I think this would have been a really dope fight, because at that particular point, and maybe even a little after that, before it started to become a pattern of what was happening with Erza, I thought Erza was the female Zoro. I thought that she belonged in One Piece. That's how badass I felt the character was. So, as far as putting them together, if we're going up until that particular point, I'd probably say, yo, I can't wait. I'm fucking dying for this fight to go down. Since then, especially, it's been years since that particular point in the manga and anime, Erza's character has just kind of become, in a sense, a shell of its former self, as far as the fact that she wins everything for BS reasons, reasons that don't make sense, reasons of, hey, you hit my friend, I'm gonna fuck you up, or some shit there. Opposed to Zoro, which, don't get me wrong, Zoro wins his fights, but it's always in some strategic manner, or the fact that he is just the top dog in the fight, and it's pretty clear from early on in the fight that he's gonna win. And if he's not gonna win, as seen, like, you know, early on in One Piece, Mihawk fucking slashes his ass down, like, you get a drift of like, okay, Zoro's not gonna win this one, or if he is gonna win this one, it's gonna be strategic, or it makes sense for him to win this one, something along the lines of that. So that's just comparing the backgrounds of the two characters. Again, Erza from Fairy Tail, you know, mage with swords and shit like that. Zoro from One Piece, a pirate, former pirate hunter, uses swords as well, 3-sword technique, all that good shit. Honestly, I mean, just on a broad stroke, not getting into the small details, and this is no, take the fandom aside, because believe it or not, I do like Fairy Tail, like, as far as for what it is, enjoyment-wise and shit like that. So take that bullshit aside, whatever, okay? Fairy Tail, blah, 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 One Piece, blah, 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 blah. Take it aside. Just comparing the feats of the characters and looking at what they ultimately have accomplished, their battle skills and everything, their speed and shit like that. I think even at this particular point in Fairy Tail, because I am caught up, you know, I know every fucking detail of each character because I'm caught up on both manga series. I know exactly what they can and can't do. I can make an informed opinion and an informed prediction about how this is gonna go down. You know, some people, they just don't know, they haven't seen, you know, each series and shit like that. So yeah, I can make an informed one because I know what they can do. But I still say, without a shadow of doubt, Zoro should take this. Like, don't get me wrong, Erza, aside from the BS shit aside, she can do some shit. I mean, she could transform different, you know, armors and shit like that. She has many different skills and shit like that. Like, Erza can do some stuff, but Zoro, between the haki, he has the sensory haki, I think he has the ornament haki as well, his speed is incredible. Like, without a shadow of a doubt, I think, based on the opponents that Zoro has taken out, because we've already seen Zoro took out somebody that was in Doflamingo's crew, one of his fucking top executives, Pika, Zoro took out, and it was just like him chopping wood. He was like a lumberjack for that shit or something. Like, it wasn't really much to him. And in the One Piece world, Doflamingo is considered one of the top dogs, or not top dogs, but he's one of the top tiers up there and shit like that. So you compare him and then one of his underlings, and Zoro was able to take him out fairly easily. Again, it was just a matter of, you know, chopping this motherfucker down. It shows how powerful Zoro is. In Fairy Tail, even though the characters like Erza, Natsu, and Grey and all of them, they do overcome their enemies, it's never showcased that they are absolutely astronomically strong. It's just a matter of, like, they win because their friends are in trouble, and it gives them the strength to, you know, keep going and ultimately take on their opponents. I mean, Erza's had fights with Tartarus. She beat a lot of the Tartarus members, even though she was tortured and fucked up. Ultimately, she overcame it, and we've seen that even losing all her senses, pretty much, you know, feeling, taste, all that shit, she still overcame overcame somebody. So yeah, Erza is, as far as strength goes, because of the writing in Fairy Tail, she can do some stuff, but ultimately her capabilities and her feats just haven't been shown to be as incredible as Zoro, and Zoro is just getting started. I think we've seen the peak as far as realistic wise what Erza can do. Zoro, we're still waiting. We still haven't seen his peak. We still haven't seen him max out yet, and the fact that the story is going to continue, I could see at some given point Zoro being like maybe close to some Whitebeard shit, just really fucking strong. With Erza, I don't see them ever being like some sort of fucking city busters or some shit like that. I see her continuing to be maybe stronger, but ultimately around the same realm as what she's been, you know, using her swords and shit like that. Maybe I'll be wrong, but ultimately what we've seen, I think Zoro is definitely a lot more ahead. I think speed-wise, I think strength-wise, and ultimately strategy-wise, I think Zoro will take it. Erza, she got the power of friendship, but Hiro Mashima ain't riding this one, bro. So I'm putting my chips on Zoro for this one. I can't wait for this death battle. I'm excited, but most importantly, I want to know what you guys are predicting. Who do you think should take it? Fandom aside, let's be mature about this one. No matter what, let's be real about this one. Fandom aside, if you read both One Piece and Fairy Tail, for the most part, and you're up to date on each of them and shit like that, who do you think should take it? Should it be Erza Scarlet, the fucking crazy sword bitch that gets away with all her friendship wins? Or should it be Roronoa Zoro from One Piece with that 3-sword style fucking kicking ass and shit like that? Hockey and all. Like, this is gonna be a fun one, an interesting one, and I know a lot of people are gonna go back and forth, but I think we should try our best to ultimately be controlled and be mature about this one, because let's be real, even if you're a One Piece fan and you think Zoro's gonna win, which most of us are, ultimately, whatever happens, let's try and calm ourselves, because I know, especially with the One Piece side, if Erza wins, ooh, death battle, ooh, you don't know what you're getting yourselves into with that one. And your overall expectations for this one, I think how I'm gonna handle the next one, the following one, I probably will do a live reaction. I'll, you know, kind of talk about it, and then my aftermath thoughts on it. I don't think I'm gonna just do like one of these videos, because I feel as though the predictions right here is, again, I think Zoro's going to take it. Erza's going to lose. Maybe Erza will have a couple of tricks up her sleeve, get a little bit of dibs in on Zoro, whatever, but I think Zoro should take it. Again, assuming they're not getting no tips from Hiro Mashima from Fairy Tail, because if that's the case, then Zoro's going down. Zoro's going to lose really bad, and it's going to be horrible. And also, again, if you're very informed on both series, Fairy Tail and One Piece, do you think one of them has more feats that have been proven than the other one? That's one of the most important things, because to make a logical leap as far as predictions go, for each character, you gotta say, well, this person can do this and that, and we've seen them do this and that. They're like a world buster. I know it. They've done this to prove it and shit like that. So if you can bring those, you know, facts and shit like that, then you might actually have a good point or whatever. You might even do better than Death Battle, because we're not gonna get into it, but you know, Death Battle do be fucking up sometimes, so we're not going to get into that though. So do you think like maybe you have some really informed opinion? Let me know. Honestly, again, I'm just really excited for this one, because I haven't really been into Death Battle that much lately, but Roronoa Zoro, Erza Scarlet, Fairy Tail One Piece, it's gonna be so crazy. Also, for this particular battle, I'm really hoping, because some of my expectations as well, I want to make it as fair as possible. I definitely think that they should be capable of using all the techniques at their arsenal. I don't think they should shortcome any of them, which they usually don't with that battle or whatever, but I definitely want Zoro to have his 3-sword style. I want him to have even the bandana, or throughout the fight, maybe he puts on the bandana as well, because you know, whenever Zoro puts on the bandana, shit is gonna get real. So I definitely want them completely at their max, and I'm kind of hoping that Death Battle can have an informed enough opinion to have, because One Piece, we're what, 840 something chapters in, so you gotta know 840 something chapters worth of material to get down exactly how strong Zoro is. With Fairy Tail, you gotta have over 500 chapters of experience to understand how strong Erza is. Again, the logic is a little wonky on the Fairy Tail side, but nonetheless, I think you definitely need to have a lot of information, and you need to definitely get it right, because no matter what, this is going to be one of those where it's kind of like the Goku and Superman one, except to a more smaller extent, because both of the fan bases can be very hardcore for their series and their characters. And yeah, it's interesting though, the fact that Erza is in this fight, because of the simple fact that people always look like, oh, how is a woman this and that, but Erza, for being a Fairy Tail character, again, prior to all the BS and shit like that, she was better than almost Fairy Tail itself. So that speaks volumes for what Erza was prior to It's Because She's Erza and all those different fights that she had that kind of made her character a laughingstock of what she used to be. So yeah, I don't want to keep nagging on it. Erza versus Zoro. But that's all I have for this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and stalk my Facebook to get more when the video ends. I'm FNebWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. This battle, I can't wait, bro. I can't wait. One Piece and Fairy Tail fans, y'all gotta go nuts, and I'm hyped.